to get this out of the way, I rarely do trigger warnings because, like, I feel like if you're here, you know I'm going to talk about some stuff. But this is, like, very heavy on domestic violence. Not graphic, super. Like, we're not going to look at, like, photos of injuries or videos of it happening or anything like that. But that is what Taylor Armstrong experienced. So we are going to talk about that. So if that topic, like, makes you spiral, like, maybe we sit this one out. I'm not going to give, like, trigger warnings throughout. This is just like my blanket one that's what this is about. So if you don't want to hear that, there's so many other people on the internet making videos, you know? There's so many other videos you could watch. But for those of you that are like, I know exactly what I'm here for and I do want to learn about Taylor Armstrong, you've come to the right place. So, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm trying to, like, fix this on my screen and it's not really working. So that is rather unfortunate for me. Hi, people. I'm so happy to be doing this. I've been looking forward to this all day. Can I just say, we're doing standardized testing starting tomorrow, and it's just quite, like, unsettling to me. Like, they use my room sometimes. Now is one of the times that they're doing it, and then I'm proctoring it in a different room. Like, it's just a lot going on. And I just feel very unsettled. Like, our schedule's different. I'm moving to different rooms. Like, I cut my shower short for this. Studying physics and ecology finals. Hopefully this makes me feel better. I hope it makes you feel better. So let's go ahead and let me close all of these random ass windows that I have open. Goodbye. Okay. What am I doing? Okay. So tonight we are here to talk about Taylor Armstrong. So, who is Taylor Armstrong? She is a American TV personality, and she is known as an original cast member of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills is not the first Housewives, like, thing, but it is one of the slightly earlier ones. So, she was born, her name was Shayna Lynette Hughes. She has had many name changes, which I did not know. I'm losing my mind making a chair out of plastic bags. What's happening to you? Are you doing this, like, under force? Is this a consensual? We're just getting into it. We are just getting into it. We're getting into it. So, this is Taylor Armstrong. If you don't watch Real Housewives at all, it's totally fine. Like, I'll literally explain everything to you, and it's all explained in here, so don't even worry. This actually, like, low-key might be better if you've never seen Real Housewives, because it's just, her story is crazy that this was on national television. Like, this was on national television, and everyone was just watching. So, childhood. She was born June 10th, 1971 in Independence, Kansas, to Charles and Marla Hughes. She grew up with her parents in Cherryvale, Kansas, a town located just 11 miles northeast of her birthplace. So, like, small town vibes in Kansas. Her family left Kansas for Tulsa, Oklahoma, where she attended Union High School and was a cheerleader. She graduated in 1989. So, like, a very middle America, classic childhood vibes, like small town with her family, going to high school, doing her thing. So details about her early life have been shared sparingly and inconsistently. Also, this pimple that I have is literally driving me absolutely insane, and I can't even put a pimple sticker on it because of where it is. Like, my mouth moves, so the sticker just pops off. Ugh. This is probably the worst thing any woman ever has experienced. That's my favorite quote, but I never say it because I don't think people realize I'm joking. It's from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, where Jocelyn goes, this is the worst thing to happen to any woman ever. And, like, I just think it's so funny because, like, obviously it's not. It does feel insane that this show, especially with recent seasons, looking at you, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I love Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. What are you talking about? I love that show. So here's some pictures of Taylor Shanna in her youth. Again, like I said, oh my God, I dropped my cup outside school again for the millionth time, and it got even worse scratched. I keep doing that. So, oh my God, this is your first stream since finishing all YouTube videos? That is impressive. You've watched me for so many hours. You've seen me through so many eras of my life. I love that. So, this is her in 1987, shortly before she graduated. Shanna Hughes wears her shades to block out the brightness of the Redskins' brilliance. Nothing brilliant about that name. That didn't age well. And then this is her again in high school, living her American high school life. And then this is her at a coronation ceremony, obviously ecstatic about being chosen as sophomore attendant to football homecoming queen. What is that? What is that? That sentence made me feel European because I have no idea what the fuck that means. I love when Europeans like imitate Americans and they're like, oh, I got the IRS is calling my divorce lawyer. And they just like say things they've heard Americans say. That's how that sentence felt. Obviously ecstatic about being chosen as sophomore attendant to football homecoming queen. What the fuck does that say? Does anyone here know what that is? I'm like really upset by this. More pictures of her during this time. For the fact that she has really said nothing about her childhood, there's a lot of photos. I respect that. She's like, you can't know anything, but I looked great. That's all you need to know. Here is her cheering. You can see. I love her hair. Like, I love a big hair moment. I think I should have been alive in the 80s. Like, I love big hair. I love, love, love big hair. I should learn how to do it to my hair because my hair could big hair, like, awesome. But I'm just too lazy to do anything. She's literally gorgeous, like the bone structure. So her first brush with public attention came in 1989. This is the year she graduated, when People magazine featured her in an article about cheerleading. Identified as Shayna Hughes, she expressed frustration that her team couldn't perform certain cheers due to coaching restrictions. Last year's best large varsity team was Tulsa, Oklahoma Union High School. This year, though, Tulsa Union senior Shayna Hughes isn't optimistic. Our chances are slim to none, she says. For one thing, our coach won't let us do any dancing with our legs apart or anything that looks kind of, well, you know. She really said, let us be hot. Let us be hot. Let us. Valid. I love that was in People magazine. See, I was meant to live in the 1980s. They were putting anybody in People magazine. So, 1993, at the age of 22, she changed her name to Shanna Taylor in Delaware County, Oklahoma. Somewhat of an unusual choice for an adult, but one she embraced wholeheartedly, because apparently there's other like records of her using this name. Kind of out of nowhere, but we will talk about, apparently her childhood was not ideal. So, maybe she was just like, fuck my family, like I want to have a different last name. So following this, she relocated to Florida, where she earned a real estate license in September 2000. So like about 10 years has passed. Like a couple years, she changed her name. A couple years later, she moved to Florida. A couple years after moving to Florida, she has this real estate license. So her life at that time is a little bit spotty. She earned a real estate license in September 2000 in Broward County under the name Shanna Lynette Taylor. So now she's Shanna Lynette Taylor. So, young adulthood and marriage. Around this time, this is later, but I want to talk about it now. She has been open about the fact that in her childhood, there was a domestic violence. In her childhood home, there was domestic violence. She was open about that before it came out that she herself was experiencing it as an adult. So just like to give relevance for the fact that she like moved away, changed her name, like I do very much understand that if that's what you went through. And she'll talk about it. We'll watch a clip of her giving a speech about it later on. But just so you know, her childhood was really not the best of vibes, it seems. So, young adulthood and marriage. Around 2004, she got another name change, filing paperwork to become Taylor Ford. So Taylor was she changed her name was Shanna Lynette Hughes, then she became Shanna Taylor, and then she became Taylor Ford. So we've strayed very far from her original name. The origin of the name Ford remains unclear, but she later claimed it was a connection to the Ford Motor Company family. Her initial filing was dismissed because she had an unpaid fee, but after a year, I guess she paid it or took care of it or whatever, she officially changed her name and became Taylor Ford. This is feeding me. I'm glad y'all are into this topic. She's a very interesting person. Thank you, Poomkimi, for subscribing for 12 months. That's longer than a lot of relationships. And Live Can't Die for subscribing for 6 months. That's a lot longer than most relationships, too. So, after she changed her name to Taylor Ford, she moved to Beverly Hills, California, and started an e-commerce business, whatever that means. And this is where she met her future husband, Russell Armstrong, who was a venture capitalist. What is a venture capitalist? Let's hit that with a Google, because like that's not a real job. That sounds like you just move money around to try and make more money, which is not contributing to society. A venture capitalist is an investor who provides capital to startups and small companies in exchange for equity stake. So exactly what I said. They invest into businesses hoping that they will make money off of it. Cool. So she met him because she was waitressing at a restaurant and he was waiting to be seated. So that's how they met. Pretty like normal meeting story. So who the fuck is Russell Armstrong? I introduce you to our villain of the evening. We're really flying through this, but honestly, good stuff. So Russell Lynn Armstrong was born in Dallas, Texas. First red flag. On December 21st, 1963. He is the eldest of two children, he is the elder of two children, John Ann Armstrong and Louis Lynn L.L. Armstrong. He had one sibling, a younger sister named Lori Ann Armstrong, who was born in 1965, and he attended Richardson High School and then later graduated from the University of Hawaii. So, that's his backstory. Hawaii feels random, but all right. So, his career, because he's a villain. We don't really need to get into it more than that. There's also not that much information available. So Russell Armstrong began his professional journey as an attorney. Early in his legal career, he gained notable attention representing Aileen Wuornos, a famous serial killer, in a 1981 armed robbery case. His connection to the Wuornos later led to appearances in media. So I guess he represented this guy in an armed robbery, and then later on that guy went on to kill a bunch of people. So then he did interviews about it. Cool. Including a guest spot on the A&E series American Justice in 1998 and the documentary series Biography in 2003. So it seems like whenever there's like a low budget, oh, she's a woman and she killed 7 men? Well, I want to hear her side. I'm not saying she's right. I'm just saying I want to hear her side. Should I not watch? I'm on season 2 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Ooh, there is going to be spoilers for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But you'll kind of see after we do season 1, then maybe I would leave after that because I like label it by season. She was very much abused by men. Okay, so like stream topic maybe? Stream topic maybe. Yeah, wasn't she quoted saying, I want to Google this woman. All right, we're taking a slight detour. Oh, I've seen her. Oh, I have seen her. Okay. Murdered at least 6 men in Florida in 1989 and 1990. Interesting. The nickname, the Damsel of Death. Killing people is never okay. I do want to make that clear. It's never okay to kill people. Do not do that. That is bad. I will need to read into this later before I form further opinions. Robbed all the victims before shooting them and stealing their cars. Okay. Interesting case. Okay, maybe we will do a stream on that. So many exciting things in the works. So, anyway, he represented this lady in an armed robbery. You know, it was a crime, so I assumed it was a man. Problematic. So then when they make documentaries about her, I guess they just pulled out Russell Armstrong. Sorry, I just got a funny message. It's giving Kissing Kate Barlow. Oh my god, I love Kissing Kate Barlow. Where'd my ring go? Oh, here it is. So anyway, I lost my place. In 1992, Armstrong made his sole foray into the acting role. Now he wants to be an actor. You're a lawyer. Do lawyer stuff. In an adventure comedy movie, The Ring of the Musketeers. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? The Ring of the Musketeers. I'll show you. Look at it. Do you see this right now? Let me see if I can find a clip of him in it. Ring of the Musketeers. My mouse is fucked up, so sorry, I'm kind of moving slow. I can't find, like, him in it, but he's on the IMDb. Maybe is it someone with the same name? Like, for us. I don't know if you can see me. Let me text you and push it through. Okay, so anyway, beyond his legal and media endeavors, failed actor, Russell Armstrong transitioned into the financial sector, as so many failed actors do, becoming the founding managing director. I hate fake jobs. What's a founding managing director? Pick one job. I founded, I manage, and I direct. You can drop at least one of those. I get founding director. I founded it and I'm the director. What's the founding managing director? Don't piss me off. Of Crescent Financial, a private merchant banking firm headquartered in Los Angeles. What's merchant banking? Is that like, is my bank a merchant bank? Merchant banking. Providing financial services to large corporations and high net worth individuals and institutional investors. So that's not us. I don't think any of us... Your face freezes kind of derpy sometimes. Yeah, I'm sure. Let me know if it's better or worse. Not that I'm really doing anything. Oh, it's better now? Don't let them silence you, Queen. I know. I just don't... Like, this is important. I need you to hear it. Okay, I'm just going to fight through and keep going. Because a couple people said it was better now. Oh, my God. Why is technology being so bad? What's happening in the stars? Anyway, so he's charged with felony tax evasion. The case concluded... in 1997, like we said, with 5 years probation and 150 hours of community service, which he was required. It's not better. Oh, yikes. Yikes. I don't know what to do. Not better, bestie. Stream said slow down. Stream did say slow down. They're mad I didn't spend 20 minutes talking. This is so lame. This is so lame. The lamest, one might say. And my little thing, like, says it's not at full bars. I kind of want to risk it and switch going to, like, my hotspot on my phone, but I feel like that's going to break everything. Wasn't trying to yell. No, you just scared me. It's okay. I feel like my phone would be worse. You know? Okay, some people are still saying it's better. I don't know. What's the truth? What is the truth? Open performance window. It says your stream quality is good. I don't want to gaslight you. Okay, but there were a lot of dropped frames. Okay. I'm sorry. It's getting better, though. I see the numbers are going down in dropped frames. It got better, but I think it took a second. Okay, so we're just going to continue to fight. We're just going to continue to fight through. So things are going to get worse for Mr. Russell Armstrong. So far, it's gotten better for me. Okay, cool. Things are going to get worse for Mr. Armstrong because he does some worse things. In December 1997, he was arrested in West Hollywood, California on charges of misdemeanor spousal battery and battery following an alleged altercation with his then wife, Barbara. So for context, him and Taylor met in 2005. So this is like a full 7 years or 8 years before they met. After being released on a $15,000 bail, he was ordered to attend therapy sessions, participate in Alcoholics Anonymous, and abstain from alcohol and drug use while awaiting trial. However, in March 1998, he was arrested again after another altercation with Barbara. And the vast majority of times that someone calls the police on a domestic incident, in a lot of states, no one gets arrested. So the fact that he got arrested Twice? It had to be pretty bad for them to arrest you on site. Because if they show up and, like, you're sitting calmly in a chair, like, there's only so much they can do with that. You know what I mean? On March 30th, 1998, Armstrong pleaded no contest to misdemeanor battery. The spousal battery charge was dismissed. Why was it dismissed? Literally, why was it dismissed? He was sentenced to 3 days in Los Angeles County Jail and 3 years probation with 50 hours of community service, 1 year in anger management therapy, and attendance of 50 AA meetings, and a $1,000 donation to the Women's Clinic in Venice, Los Angeles. Misdemeanor battery is crazy, right? Like, Russell literally sucks so bad. Russell was a member of the Episcopalian Church. In 1997, he married his first wife, Barbara. So, damn! He was getting arrested for spousal battery on year 1 of marriage? I'm not saying it's ever okay, but year 1? Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. I found out I didn't get into my teaching program today, sad girl hours. I'm sorry, but silver lining, there's a lot of other ones, and a lot of people are very desperate for teachers. So if you just keep fighting through, I'm sure you can find a path. Another door will open. That was a much nicer way of saying what I just said. If 150 hours of community service didn't help, why give him 50 after that? Where was I? So the couple had one child, a son named Aiden Armstrong, who was born in 1998. Their marriage ended shortly after Aiden's birth, and their divorce was finalized in 2004. So short marriage, long divorce, a red flag about him. During the proceedings, Fredrickson secured a temporary restraining order against Armstrong, citing allegations of domestic violence and child abuse. I would say we're beyond allegations. He was literally arrested. Following his divorce, Armstrong was romantically involved with Claudia Haro. Their 6-month relationship also ended in Haro accusing him of domestic violence and child abuse. Armstrong later became engaged to Millette Fields. Together they had a son, Griffin Armstrong, who was born in 2000. Barbara Fredrickson later accused Armstrong of abusing Griffin as well. So the history of Russell is not looking good. Russell's not looking like the best guy. Abolish the 8th Amendment for Russell Armstrong only. Like, Russell is straight up not that guy. Like, Russell seems like he has quite the pattern here. Quite the pattern that he is establishing very quickly. Again, to run through the timeline, married in 1997, arrested for abuse twice, separated in 1998, then romantically involved with someone else, domestic abuse again, and then engaged to someone else, domestic abuse again. It's not a coincidence. Why is this man outside? Why is he outside? Why did we let him outside? I do not know why he is outside. I feel like there should be some sort of registry for abusers. Why is he outside? Maybe, I don't know, we send him and all the other abusers to do, like, soil restoration in Middle America, where that needs to be done. I don't know. Our roads are falling apart. Maybe they can work on that. Because what the fuck? Why is he out? Who? I want to talk to the judge. Excuse me. I would like to speak to the judge. Then in 2005, he faced significant financial challenges. On October 16th, 2005, he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, citing an inability to pay $48,000 owed to American Express. So that's credit card debt. This bankruptcy later converted to Chapter 11. So Chapter 7 provides liquidation, the sale of a debtor's non-exempt property, and the distribution of the proceeds to creditors. So, like, they sell your shit and then give the money to American Express because you owe them money. Chapter 11 is reorganization bankruptcy, the legal process that allows the debtor to reorganize their debts and continue operating their business. So that is like you get on like a payment plan or something, I think is what they're saying. So back to Taylor. That's what Russell was doing before he met Taylor and started ruining her life. I wonder if she knew this. I'm sure she knew parts of it. I'm sure she didn't know all of it, I would assume / hope. But I wonder what she knew. Definitely the type of person you want investing your money. Definitely. So this is her and Russell. Again, they met in 2005, so shortly after the bankruptcy that he filed. So she literally looks like the sun. She looks like a goddess, the bone structure, the teeth, gorgeous. And then he is there. He's there. That's Russell. Everyone say hi, Russell. I'm sure she knew his version of it. That's what I'm thinking. He was probably like, oh, I need to declare bankruptcy, but it's just to like reorganize things. It's not like that. And then he's like, oh, my ex was crazy. He probably didn't even tell her about all of them. Like, I'm sure she got a wishy-washy version of this. I bet he said my ex is crazy. So, marriage. The two married less than a year after meeting, October 7th, 2005. Less than a year after meeting. This man's a narcissist. Because how is he getting so many women to marry him so quickly? And then Taylor gave birth to their only child, a daughter named Kennedy Caroline Armstrong, who was born in 2006. On the show, she said she was into him first. He's here, but his hairline isn't. So I could not find any photos of their wedding, so this is another couple named Taylor and Russell. They seem lovely. I'm sure they have a lovely life together. But Russell and Taylor Armstrong do not have wedding photos on the internet. This is Kennedy in some of the earlier days of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You can see, cute little girl. That's their child. So, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, pre-divorce, season 1. Like I said, her life, a lot happens to her. Russell looks like the dad from Rick and Morty. So, Armstrong first appeared in the public spotlight in 2010 as a part of the reality TV series Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
It may look like I have it all, but I want more.
From spending $60,000 on a kid's birthday party to having a marriage that's 80% business and only 20% romance, many think that for Taylor, living in Beverly Hills comes at a price. Let's see why.
Keeping up with the lifestyle in Beverly Hills requires an extraordinary amount of money. Leave the wallet. That's one of the perks of being married to someone like Russell. Kennedy's birthday is coming up.
Absolutely.
It's looking beautiful. A good-sized party. It could be, they run around maybe 50,000.
Here's to a small party.
I was stunned. We had agreed, no dog.
I told Taylor, I said, I'm going to get Kennedy a puppy for her birthday. And she said, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. So what's the latest with your little company?
I'd love it if you wouldn't call my company little. I would say our marriage is about 80% business and 20% romance. I keep thinking, well, we're going to grow into that, where it just is constant, unconditional approval.
If you don't have that and you can't change that, what would you do?
I don't know, because there's a part of me that feels like it's even unfair for me to ask for that. My marriage is the worst it's ever been. I just know that something has to change. He's leaving.
Who cares about him? Let him go home and do his thing and we'll have fun.
I feel like I have this life that I want to celebrate. I just wish he would celebrate with me.
So, I'm wondering what it was like for you watching Taylor upset, confiding in Kyle about your relationship.
It was difficult. The last 3 years have been very challenging for the entire country, and I've candidly been working 80-hour weeks, and it's very easy to get preoccupied.
He really said, I know you all saw me berate my wife on television, but have you considered that we're in a recession? Had you thought of that? You hadn't.
With kids and business and just the day-to-day grind.
He kind of reminds me of Robert California from The Office. I see it. So, Kennedy's parties. We're going to kind of get into some stuff that happened early on in the show. So, Kennedy Armstrong's lavish birthday parties thrown by Taylor were a reoccurring topic of discussion and debate among fans of Beverly Hills. These extravagant events, complete with fine dining, elaborate decorations, and sometimes questionable gestures like adults for champagne, often seemed more about Taylor's need to impress and compensate rather than Kennedy's happiness. That's what everyone was saying watching the show. It's an adult party that doesn't look like it's for kids because kids don't seem like they're having fun. Not in like an abuse, neglect way, but just in like a kids don't want to sit around and drink champagne at a dinner party way. Like they want to play on a playground way. You know what I'm saying? So Kennedy was frequently caught on camera looking disinterested or pouting, leading to speculation that the parties were not suited to a young child's idea of fun. For Taylor, many believed that the parties served as a way to cope with her troubled marriage. Critics viewed her efforts as a form of overcompensation, using the events to present an image of perfection and control to the outside world. For Russell, it appeared to be an attempt to portray himself as a devoted father. Through his larger actions, often painted a more complex picture. Kennedy's reactions, whether from overstimulation, fatigue, or lack of interest in the grand gestures, suggested that the events were not child-focused. And many of the clips, like she cries in a couple of them, she like runs off in the corner and hides, like large, loud events that are outside of a kid's routine can sometimes like freak them out. So she's being a kid in the clips. Where was I? Fans speculate that these parties, rather than being joyful celebrations, highlighted the tension and facade in the Armstrong household. Taylor's need to impress the pressures of appearing on reality television seemed to take precedence over creating authentic moments. I don't love that this article was like kind of accusatory towards her, but okay, so this is
I'm excited for Kennedy to see how beautiful the setup is and for all of her little friends to arrive and to get to have some fun and celebrate Kennedy turning 4.
Hi, baby. Come here. Look at your party. Do you love your birthday?
Her arms are great. I'm so jealous of her arms.
This for you. Can you believe it? Yeah, do you love it?
She was definitely a little overwhelmed.
See,
look
like
at all your flower arrangements and
she's
all
a
this
child.
pretty stuff that they made for you.
I want to go upstairs.
You do? Okay.
See, she's just overwhelmed.
Luca, will you take some pictures with Mommy first? It's just Gray. Look, you know Gray. Remember Gray?
Large
I wanted
events
the
freak me out
photographer to
too.
be there so that I could get some pictures with my daughter.
Will we take one picture?
No.
Will you sit right here?
No and no.
Please?
No.
Okay. In a little while.
See, she's just like
You wanna
grumpy.
go, Nana?
Best laid plans when you're dealing with small children.
You look beautiful.
Of course.
So, because we don't criticize Taylor, is she yelling at her daughter? No. Is she mad that her daughter's reacting like a child? No. She asked her a couple times. The daughter made it clear, I'm not fucking into this. And she said, okay, let's go upstairs. Like, so would I spend $50,000 on a 4-year-old's birthday party? No, I would not. I would go on a vacation without them. But it does seem like, for the fact that she was so attached to this party, she's handling it pretty well that her kid isn't into it. Social work Barbie, I'm so happy I finally made it to class. I've been a YouTube watcher forever. I'm glad you are here.
Still took the opportunity to get some pictures taken.
I love her. She was like, my daughter might not like this party, but I'm still going to serve.
Oh my God, I love it.
This is so funny. This is hilarious.
Oh my God.
So, just to give you a vibe check, I miss Real Housewives like back in the day. Here's another clip from her on the show.
Yeah, do you love it?
Oh, we just saw this.
Okay.
No and
Yeah.
no.
It was the same thing. This is her talking about domestic violence in her childhood.
I'm really excited to have some action, some poker, and some fun in support of an amazing cause.
Taylor. Hey, Annie. How are you, honey?
So this is a fundraiser for a family crisis center.
It is par for doing events in LA. You run into all kinds of famous people.
Stay right there, one more time. Hey, that's my wallet.
Adrienne and I are close enough that I was comfortable having her there to share my story with, but the other girls, it was much more of a serious occasion than just a social event, so I thought it was best just to have Adrienne along.
At least Taylor had fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can respect her.
I know what I'm doing, so here. I've literally played poker maybe 2 or 3 times in my life because I can't gamble in our own casino.
Her family owns a casino. Partially.
Oh, you win again? It's winning.
Remember I told you how lucky I am all the
Guess
time?
what?
I thought this must be 10 hands in a row.
You might win this whole thing.
Paul.
Oh my goodness. Adrienne.
I was very lucky.
Love the cowboy hats, even though they seem out of place.
Prior to giving my speech, I felt incredibly nervous.
I'm glad you like the chat. The chat is really the best part of being here.
Give my little speech, take a deep breath, and I'll see you guys in a little while. Thank you again, Annie.
I was so nervous, I didn't know if I was going to be able to go through with it. You know, it's a story that I typically only share with people at the crisis center who have been through some difficult circumstances. I felt incredibly nervous. I didn't know if I was going to be able to go through with it.
She serves every time. She's literally stunning.
Well, thank you so much for coming. The 1736 Family Crisis Center is an organization
Everyone needs to shut up and
incredibly
listen to
dear
her.
to my heart for many reasons. What many of you may not know is that I'm a child of domestic violence.
Literally everyone shut up.
I'm sorry. One of my earliest childhood experiences was abuse. And so it means the world to me that you're here today
Oh, I'm gonna
to
cry.
stand up for the people that can't stand up for themselves and to support the women and children who so desperately need the money that you're donating to make a fresh start and to build a life like I have built for myself.
When I first heard
Shut
that
up, Russell.
Taylor had had some abuse in her childhood, that actually came to me as a complete surprise. Maybe she felt
Russell being in the
a little
audience is
embarrassed by
crazy
it.
work. And
As a
like,
friend, I hope I can
keep in mind when this aired, we didn't know that stuff about Russell. So like, you and I know, but like, ugh.
be there for her.
The money that you are raising today for this amazing organization, it gives them a new life and to move forward and to fulfill the dreams that are inside each and every
Why did
one of
Russell
us.
look mad?
I want everyone who's been through that
Great
experience
question.
to know that you're the same as me. You know, it's just your circumstances that are different. And so by being there and telling my story, I hope that it gives
I think she was going to say, I hope that it gives hope. So very, 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 very painful. For those of you that have not seen season 2 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I would bow out around this time. So this is just some general moments of housewives of that era. And so you can see the vibes.
It may look like I have it all, but I want more.
In Beverly Hills, it's who you know, and I know everyone.
I love Lisa Vanderpump.
Money is what I have, not who I am.
I was a child star, but now my most important role is being a mother.
If you have not seen my stream about Kim and Kyle Richards and Kathy Hilton, highly suggest you watch it.
I'm full of phonies. I'm not afraid to be me. It's time for me to come out of my husband's shadow and shine. I live in a gated community in Beverly Hills.
Her swans kill me. So, it's a lot of the other people in this clip. So I just wanted you to see like the intro and get the vibes of housewives at this time.
I'm married to Russell Armstrong. He's a venture
capitalist
and investment banker.
So what's the latest with your little company?
Love it. We wouldn't call my company little. My current business is high-level management consulting, and I don't want to put myself in a position where I don't have the ability to care for myself in the event that one of these days, you know, the younger, better thing comes along and you know, things happen.
That says a lot. That says quite a lot right there.
By the way, Heather's going to be in town next week.
I just read online that you put $10 million into her film company. I love how I'm getting the Forbes magazine press release that you invested $10 million.
And I know it's very risky, but I'm actually very excited about it.
I would say our marriage is about 80% business and 20% romance.
I pray a love like that never finds me.
But that's something I signed up for.
It's just painful to watch. So this is her Roaring 20s party from season 1.
Hey,
this is in the game.
Hold on a second, okay, you ready?
Hey.
Okay.
We're gonna be late.
Okay, it's not easy being me, you know.
I love Ken.
Forever. You must be joking. What? What are you doing?
What do you think? You know what, the dress didn't look good on me.
It looks better on me. Let's just face it.
What do you think, darling?
Oh my God.
Don't with Mr. Pinky tonight, okay?
Please don't hit me again.
Lisa Vanderpump is funny. I don't know if she's evil, but she's funny.
Jesus. Don't take me out, Ken. I can see your eyes all over me.
And you know what? Cedric really fancied me upstairs in the bathroom. He said, for the first time, Lisa, I find you attractive.
I'm not walking across the road. I got heels on.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Look at this.
Oh,
This
for
is
goodness
something.
sake. They're running shoes as far as I'm concerned.
Oh my God, they were rich as fuck and lived across the street from each other. It was like truly an insane era. They could never make me hate LVP. Like, I'm afraid of her, but like I am, like she is a role model to me in my community.
Mr. Pinky.
Little shocked to see Cedric dressed as a woman and seeing Lisa as a man. She's too pretty to be a man.
Oh my God, we're gonna go. It takes a long time. I'm a lady.
Almost.
Do you want some pads for those shoulders, Paul? Smart ass.
Look at Taylor serving as usual.
Ugh. Sort of a grapefruit-driven cocktail.
Russell.
There you go. Hi. Cut all my hair off.
I hope not. I hope it's in there somewhere. So is this my,
Thank you for my party. You look amazing. Exceeding all expectations.
Oh,
Seriously,
thank
turn
you.
around. Stunning.
The way her friend is like way nicer than her husband.
do I look like a gangster?
Russ the gangster.
No, you don't,
You guys all
Russell.
look so handsome.
You look like an
It's
asshole.
working.
We're getting more cheap than your husband.
I love it. Well, everyone looks great. The room looks like a girl. Your lips are red. I know. Is it smearable or? I don't know. Give me a cocktail first.
They do look uncomfortable. It's very awkward. So you can see the vibes. This is like one of her episodes that was more focused on her with her Roaring 20s party. So Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 2 and shit starts hitting the fan. So season 2, not including Taylor, there's a lot going on in it. Kyle Richards is getting a larger house. She's fighting with her sister Kim. Again, the Richards sister family stream is great. Kim reveals that she's struggling with sobriety and a controlling boyfriend. Lisa Vanderpump is focused on her daughter's engagement and wedding and navigating stuff at SUR. This is also when they started to tease Vanderpump Rules. Adrienne Maloof faces backlash because her family was going to move the Sacramento Kings to another city. This is where Brandy enters the season. Camille Grammer embraces singlehood. Brandy causes a lot of friction, especially with Kyle and Kim. You guys get it. It's Real Housewives. So this is an episode that I even debated including this, but I decided to include it because Taylor has talked about it, and we're going to be able to see what she said about this. And this is Taylor arguing with her friends, season 2, episode 14. And now you and I know that Russell's an asshole. No one knew that watching this. So everyone just looked at her like she was a crazy person. And that is why I picked this topic, was partially specifically because of this clip, which is why I think it's important for us to watch it. Because I think, like, I hate the saying hurt people, but it really is true. And, like, I think not everyone, a lot of people have a very narrow view of what a domestic violence victim acts like and looks like. And they think they're very, like, demure and, like, they don't, they're, like, weak in a way is, like, a terrible word, but that's really the way that people view domestic violence victims. Like, they're weak and, like, downtrodden. When in reality, if you are in a space where you're facing violence from your partner at home, you're probably going to be lashing out on other people that you know are not going to hurt you because, like, you have all this pent-up emotion. My comments keep getting blocked by the auto mod about Russell because they're too mean. Here, let me allow some of them. But when you have this, like, domestic violence going on at home, you have so much pent-up emotion because you're literally being violently abused that it's gonna come out and you're really gonna overreact to other things. So part of the reason I picked her for this stream is I kind of wanted to show, like, a domestic violence victim can be anyone of any, like, wealth amount. Like, it really can be anyone. And I think it's important to see, like, what it looks like when someone really is, like, on the brink. And, like, that is a way to see, like, are my friends struggling? What could be going on? Like, why are they acting this way? When someone is just not acting like themselves. Like, I'm sure you saw in many of the other clips, like, generally speaking, she seems like a pretty, like, chill and happy and go lucky person. So this is, like, a lot. So this is a party that Brandy is having.
She was the catalyst to a lot that will haunt me, that could have hurt me, that can still hurt me very badly.
She was hysterical.
Hold on. I want to see something. Entertain yourselves. I think I want to show you something before we watch this. What episode was this? Sorry, normally I'm more prepared than this, but I think this might have gotten messed up. I don't know what episode this is, and I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, I think I do want to show you something else first, and if I fuck it up, I'm sorry. Okay.
We're all protecting you.
Okay, so yeah, I got it. I believe this was
marriage?
before.
But what you told us.
If I fucked that up, I'm literally so sorry. But I think this was before, and I think this is why she was fighting with Camille. Let me see if someone said what episode this is. Whatever. We'll just watch it. If it's out of order, I'm sorry. I trust you.
Marriage?
But what you told us about your marriage. We're all protecting you.
About my marriage?
But what you told us about your marriage. What you told us about your marriage. We've been protecting you. Because we don't say that he hit you. Okay? We're supposed to walk around going, yeah,
because Taylor was upset that none of the other women are nice to Russell. They never want to hang out with Russell. And then on camera, Camille said this because apparently Taylor had been venting about it to the women off camera, and one of them brought it up on camera, which is very different to me.
We can't wait to see Russell.
Can't wait to see
But
him.
we don't know if it's true because you come over and you don't have any signs of physical abuse on your body.
I literally want to drop kick Camille Grammer for saying that. Your friend has come to you in confidence and vented to you about the fact that her husband is physically abusing her. And what you say is, A, you bring it up on camera and say, well, you don't have any signs of physical abuse on you. You don't think that Taylor's not getting professional makeup over those bruises and getting spray tanned over those bruises? Are you fucking kidding me? And the thing that pisses me off the most is, like, all of these women are so wealthy, and the fact that allegedly they all knew about it, Taylor was telling them, like, I get it's more complicated than just money and resources to get out. There's a lot of layers to it, but, like, I feel they could have done a lot more than they did, you know?
It's really uncool.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's really uncool. But you set it up, Taylor.
We've all talked to Taylor many times in private, but I think she was shocked that Camille laid it out on the table. Camille's angry at the inconsistencies with Taylor and Russell's relationship, and this has just been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Money and resources is a big part in getting away from your abuser. And, like, again, like, I don't know what access to money Taylor had, but, like, if your friend comes to you in that way, these women have huge houses and legal teams and, like, security resources and all those things. Like, you as a friend, it should be, when you're in that position, in my opinion, if you're in a position with all those things, the big ass houses, all that, you should call your friend and say, I can come get you right now, and you never have to see him again. Like, you can 1,000% do that. And I get, like, if you're, like, not wealthy, you might not be able to be there for your friend in that exact way, but you can support them in other ways. And I just felt like these women literally did nothing for Taylor, like, literally did nothing for her other than, like, listen to her vent. And so in the season after that, like, she was really upset that that happened. Apparently Russell sent, like, a cease and desist letter or, like, a threatening legal letter about it. So then none of the other women wanted to be around him, even more so. And, like, she's literally just, like, spiraling. And then this is season 2, episode 14, where she's, like, you can tell she is literally, like, at her wit's end emotionally and mentally.
When I spoke to her on the phone, I couldn't even hear what she was saying.
I'm still hysterical.
Okay, well, so is she. I know that.
All right, then have her.
I know to apologize to me because if she fights with me, I will not like her.
She's not gonna fight with you. She doesn't want to fight with you. She's been calling you for days. She wants to apologize. She wants you guys to work it out. Not what she wants.
Not cool.
She got backed up against a wall, Taylor. You've been backed up against a wall, too.
She's not. Outside.
Taylor, that's not the way to conduct a discussion. But no, but ask nicely.
Well, don't bring your friends.
No,
don't
say don't bring your. I'm not in charge with her. I know I'm not in charge of her.
Okay, if she wants to speak to me, she can ask me to speak to me.
I realize that.
Speak to me?
But why don't you guys just have a conversation?
Like,
You said outside. What's going on? Go ahead.
no, if you would like to speak to me, you can do it on your own terms. You don't need your friends to.
She doesn't need me.
I didn't ask her.
She didn't ask
Okay,
me.
then
No,
when
but
you're
wait a
ready,
Crazy to
I'll
say
be
she was
all-
backed against a wall when their friend is literally being abused. Exactly.
No, you don't need to go there either. You need to have a conversation with her.
Hold up. You guys, stop. This is ridiculous.
Stop.
This is ridiculous.
With the amount of wine that has been served, things are getting out of control and it's not helping.
Stop. Go ahead. Just don't say you outside. Don't say that. Don't say you outside.
This lady.
No matter what we say to Taylor, she was kind of just already had made up her mind, and I saw her slowly going off the deep end.
Stop.
Yeah, she is going off the deep end.
No.
That's what happens.
Yes. Go.
They're all, like, literally so wasted.
You have to talk to her.
I know this could be easily cleared up had they had the opportunity to talk away from everybody else.
Just don't fall over the edge. I don't feel like somebody's dying.
No, Taylor.
That's not funny.
Taylor.
That's not funny.
Talk to
She
her.
is kind of funny.
Taylor, listen to me. I care about you. I do. Heather, I care about
I don't like that they're not letting her leave. They blocked her to go outside. Like,
Get away from the wall. Get away from the wall. You're not standing near the wall where we could fall in the ocean, for God's sakes.
I hate drama.
Camille, you hate drama.
Wide ocean. This ocean's gonna be here long after we're all gone.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry.
And everybody's trying to calm Taylor down, and it seems like it just irritated her more.
Life is so short. I agree.
Oh my god, Camille supported Brett Kavanaugh. I didn't even know that. Yes, Camille's in the blue dress.
Come on, you guys. Really? I want to talk to her alone. I just don't want all these people around me. Let's leave you alone.
Y'all literally followed them out there.
For a year and a half, going through so much. Her friend, you being. I have been her friend. I have never hurt her. No, I have never hurt her. Take her phone. I have never hurt her. I'm sorry. She has hurt me so much. You have no idea what she's done to me. You have no idea what she has done to you.
Like, when Taylor's saying you have no idea what she's done to me, what she literally means is you called my husband out on fucking camera for getting abused, and then I got home, had to fucking tell him about it so that he didn't find out from television and literally kill me. And I think she's reacting very rationally, and I think she's reacting very appropriately under the current conditions. Like, she's already being abused at home. She is absolutely wasted right now. You all have been loudly crowding around her when she is already traumatized from her personal space being invaded constantly, and now she's screaming at you. I think she's very warranted here.
I do know, Taylor, because I
Taylor, I didn't know what was going to come out of her mouth. I didn't want her to say something that she might regret.
The meme. We're going to talk about the meme. Saying all of us have problems when she has literally vented to you about how her husband has been abusive to her is crazy as fuck. The only thing that like any real friend would have just gotten her out. Any real friend, like Taylor, I'm about to cry. Taylor, if I was there, those bitches would have been over that fucking railing. You would have been in my car and we would have been on our way to In-N-Out. Like, the fact that her friends allowed her to be in this with what she was going through is literally insane.
Okay. Then talk to Camille.
It's not a combat unless you... I will talk to Camille and get her over here! Because it's not fair!
I don't know what they were fighting about, but if she wasn't there, this wouldn't be happening. And I just wanted it to be done.
Taylor, I'm gonna ask you to leave my house. You should go. You should go.
That's rude.
No! Excuse me! No, stop!
Don't you ever touch me like that again, okay? You'll be sorry, okay?
She went like this, and she went like Kyle touched me first.
Kyle touched me first.
Stop leaving. We're leaving.
At this point, there's no talking to Taylor. My concern is just getting her home and getting her safe.
That should have been y'all's concern an hour ago.
Not now. We have to get Taylor stuff. Now. We're going to get Taylor stuff.
Okay. Seriously, because she's going to really look at me.
I know. Seriously.
Now it's
I'm finding her stuff like
that.
that.
You guys are all embarrassing yourselves by being out of control. We are an evolved species.
This fucking lady.
I have
We need to find your rap.
We need to find your rap. I don't need my rap.
It's just bullshit. And she's
Kyle is the only semi-decent person here. Yeah, at least she left with her.
being the victim, and it's bull.
She is literally a victim. This is why I picked it, because everyone views victims as people that are like sad and downtrodden. No, victims are people that start screaming at their friends like that and lashing out. And like I said, I don't even think she's like unwarranted.
I heard what you said.
I know.
This lady sucks.
I'm not gonna let it.
This lady sucks.
I need a cigarette.
So this is her leaving that party.
Come on, cover yourself up. Cover yourself up. You need to find...
Pull over. Stop! Pull over!
Shh, relax, honey.
I can't relax. I'm so stressed out.
I know.
Oh, damn it, it cut off.
I need a cigarette.
I know.
Let me see if I can find it. That's annoying. I'm mad it cut off. Oh, wait. I know where I have it. Haha! Give me one moment. I remember where I got this. Wow, my brain is really, like, braining tonight. Okay. found it. I'm a genius. So this is the like extended clip of that.
I don't have a lighter. I don't smoke.
Can I please get a lighter? I need a cigarette.
I know, but hold on. Cover yourself up. Cover yourself up. You need to find...
Pull over. Stop! Pull over!
Shh, relax, honey.
I can't relax.
Deirdre, that's that lady's name.
I know, but you have to try to relax. You're gonna have a nervous breakdown. I'm worried about Taylor's well-being. I'm worried about her state of mind right now.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah. Oh my God, Taylor. That's like gonna light the whole car for us.
No, it's not. Can I have a light?
I don't have a...
So clearly Taylor is going through a lot. And then this is another party. This is Kennedy's 5th birthday party. The audio's really bad, but Taylor just looks like uncomfortable with Russell.
Waiting for the horse to get here.
Okay.
4 o'clock.
They told me 3.
What we are going to do, we're going to take
bring
a
the
family
cake?
picture right now in front of the...
We're bringing the cake down and singing the song.
Let's do that at 4.
Okay, we had 3 planned.
This is really gonna happen now. We're
Dana, would you relax?
okay.
We have a very nice gift that is going to be ready at 4.
Right, but I'm saying that we don't have. Anyway, Russell.
What's wrong with it?
What really upset me was that it's supposed to be about Kennedy's birthday. He's more
I love
concerned
Dana.
about everyone seeing him as Father of the Year.
He has like 3 other kids, no?
I do not know what to think about Taylor and Russell's marriage. She's happy, she's not happy, there's trouble, there's not trouble. I just am completely baffled by this.
So you can see, it's like, the show is like a lot. Like, the show gets into it, but doesn't get into it. I think they handled it terribly. But it's Bravo. Are we surprised? So, like we said, this story involves a lot of things and a very tragic ending. So that's why we had so many trigger warnings. So, Taylor Armstrong's tumultuous journey remains one of the most shocking narratives in reality television. The story involved domestic violence, financial deception, and a tragic ending. We witnessed glimpses of Taylor's increasingly erratic behavior, which was later revealed to stem from severe abuse from her marriage to Russell Armstrong. During season 2, Taylor revealed that Russell had been both physically and verbally abusive towards her. The abuse escalated to the point that she apparently required reconstructive surgery near her eye. Despite her attempts to mask her suffering, her erratic behavior, like emotional outbursts, unusually reactive moments, and physical frailty, reflected the hidden torment she was experiencing. Cast members, including Camille, addressed this in a pivotal moment during a tea party, revealing Russell's abusive actions. The public disclosure marked a turning point in the show, but also intensified Taylor's distress. Oh, this was the video that we already watched.
Protecting you.
Of Now We Said It. So this is what Taylor says she felt like at that time.
I could see that. And I mean, one of the scenes that sticks out.
So to clarify, this is her very recently discussing seasons 1 and 2 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which was in like 2011.
For me, regarding like your marriage and the abuse, was that scene in Lisa Vanderpump's house when it was you and Camille and Kyle. And
we'll get
Lisa,
into what happened to Russell.
You were going to confront Lisa for apparently leaking stories to Us Weekly about you and Russell. And then Camille somehow was fighting Lisa's fight, a theme that we see throughout many seasons to come. You know, and then, I mean, that's where it really kind of first came out to the viewer, like, or at least the first mention of this abuse. So what was going through your mind, you know, when you're filming this show in season 1 and it's just put out there, or season 2?
Yeah, in season 2 at the tea party when
Camille,
Camille,
season 2.
In season 2 when Camille outed the abuse, I remember looking at our field producer who was standing across from me along with the cameras, and I was in shock. I had no idea what to say, but I knew staring at him, I just remembered the moment so specifically that I knew something in my life is about to change dramatically, and that could be I could get killed, I could get divorced, or things might completely turn around.
And she's not being dramatic. She is not being dramatic at all. At all.
And this could change my situation, but I knew once I walk out this door, my life truly will never be the same.
So you truly felt that sitting there, like just because it was said,
Yes, I was in shock, and I don't even know what my response was, if any, because I just remember sitting there completely stoic, like I have no idea what to say right now.
Well, you denied it, more or less.
I don't like that he said that.
I could.
There was one instance Armstrong says she will never forget. She was getting ready for a charity event in a hotel room with her 2 stepsons, Russell's boys from the previous relationship, running around her. She ordered a pizza for them, hoping she could buy more time to get dressed. As the boys were enjoying the pizza, her husband returned to the hotel room. He looked at the boys and then headed straight towards Taylor. He wrapped his hands around her throat and looked her straight in the eye and said, "If you ever give my boys pizza without a vegetable ever again, I'll kill you." It seems like a small thing. It does not seem like a small thing, but that's the scary thing about being with someone who loses control so easily. So this is her discussing that, I believe.
Taylor Armstrong came to Beverly Hills to live the glamorous life, but sadly that is not how things turned out. In our special report, Taylor has been very candid about how her husband Russell physically abused her. And now Taylor reveals that her experiences with abuse go all the way back to her childhood. Taylor's first experience with domestic violence came long before she met Russell.
Oh, there's their wedding
photo. She was a little
photo.
girl, like her daughter Kennedy. The one abused was her mother.
What many of you may not know is that I'm a child of domestic violence.
Her voice breaking, Russell looking on. Taylor made that speech during the first season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
What was the most traumatic thing that did happen to you as a child? My dad beating my mom. You know, she would be laying in the bed and he would be on top of her and punching her in the face and screaming, and I would try to fight him off.
She has literally been through so much.
It means the world to me that you're here today to stand up for the people that can't stand up for themselves.
Taylor's tearful speech, seen some 8 months before she revealed her own abuse, came at a Western-themed poker benefit for the 1736 Family Crisis Center, a shelter for abused women, children.
So it's literally insane that, like, she had to get... Like, it's literally just... This is just awful. Like, it's just awful that she was experiencing abuse to this magnitude, this publicly, which is insane. Russell's abusive tendencies were compounded by his financial instability. Known for projecting an image of wealth and success, he was in reality drowning in debt and legal troubles. Like we said, he had already filed for bankruptcy in 2005, and Russell's attorney later confirmed that the Armstrongs lived well beyond their means, struggling each month to sustain their appearance of affluence. Taylor's own actions also reflected the pressure to maintain a glamorous facade. She had changed her name multiple times and apparently falsely claimed to be related to the wealthy Ford family. This need to project wealth also added to their volatile dynamic because now they're also fighting over money, and Taylor's ambitions often clashed with the reality of their financial struggles. While Taylor seemed eager to embrace the fame and opportunities offered by Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Russell struggled under public scrutiny. As lawsuits mounted and his abusive behavior risked exposure on national television, the pressure became unbearable. In interviews, Russell admitted the stress of the show amplified their marital issues. When you get a TV show involved in all the pressure, it just takes it to a whole new level. So, filming for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ended months before the season premiere. So, like, they film it, and it's a while before it actually comes out on television. So, before it came out, July 15th, 2011. So, again, all those clips, that stuff happened, but it's not been on television yet. Taylor announces that she is filing for divorce, calling it a difficult decision, but one that's in her family's best interest. In her petition, she cites their date of separation as July 1st, requests primary physical custody and joint legal custody of their 5-year-old daughter Kennedy, and asks that her maiden name be restored. Then, Russell passes away. Let's get into it. Trigger warning, a lot. She recounted, "I went to go meet him in the office one day, and his office was dark. He wasn't there, and he was a workaholic, so it was completely unusual. She had a sinking feeling that something terrible happened. She discovered Russell hanging in the home that he moved into after the split. It had never crossed my mind. He was very narcissistic and not someone you would ever think would take their own life. At this time, their daughter Kennedy was 5. So within a couple weeks, I think, of her filing for divorce, he killed himself. in his, I guess, like, rental house. Isn't that literally insane? And we're just starting to, like, brush to the surface of it. I don't know how she got out of it, but I'm so proud she did. The most dangerous time in a relationship is when the victim leaves. I'm sure she was fully aware of that from her childhood. That's why I picked her, because her story is just like trauma on trauma on trauma. I know. I'm going to let you all sit with that and marinate with it for a little bit. I really feel like he would have killed her. I do too. I do. Because statistically, if a man chokes you, he is very likely to kill you. And she recounted him choking her and strangling her. I learned that in my sociology of violence against women class, that if a man strangles you, the likelihood of him killing you is very high. Yeah, this is a lot. So, the death. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed Russell's death by hanging at the Mulholland Drive residence. No suicide note was found. Taylor revealed that her daughter Kennedy was in the car with her assistant when she discovered the body. I'd been calling him all day, no answer. I just knew something had gone wrong. She recalled bringing a friend's husband for safety. Smart. After finding Russell, she ran to the car where Kennedy was. I was on the ground and hysterical, and then it occurred to me that she was there, and she had the nanny and assistant keep Kennedy away from the chaotic scene as emergency vehicles arrived. So, the season was re-edited after Russell committed suicide on August 15th, 2011. So literally exactly a month after she filed for divorce. So obviously the season has to get, like, re-edited. The housewives were interviewed in August 2011 to discuss the events that occurred after filming and to explain that the season 2 took place before the suicide. Apparently, Bravo almost canceled Real Housewives of Beverly Hills completely because of it. They were like just going to pull the plug, but then they ended up doing this instead. So the second season aired on Bravo September 5th to February 16th. So do you see the timeline? Like, it was filmed, she divorced, he killed himself, then the season came out. So very odd in terms of, like, reporting on this. So the Bravo network's handling of the situation drew widespread criticism. The second season was hastily re-edited following Russell's suicide. The show opened with the group discussion about his death, but many felt that the attempt addressing the tragedy lacked sensitivity. While the network justified airing the season by claiming it highlighted the realities of domestic abuse, critics argued that the show exploited Taylor's trauma for entertainment. So, like, I would get their point if they did a good job of it and, like, all the women rallied around her, but, like, they didn't. So maybe they actually did a great job of showing the realities of domestic abuse, where you end up getting alienated from all the people around you. Yeah, so maybe they did kind of do it perfectly. This is the news about it.
The first several minutes of the show was taped on August 29th and dealt directly with the suicide of Taylor Armstrong's estranged husband, Russell. The housewives can be seen sitting together, sharing their very emotional reactions to the tragedy. The rest of the show aired scenes that were shot 6 months ago, but were re-edited to deal with the suicide.
I just feel so bad for Taylor. She needs our support more than ever.
An emotional and uncharacteristically somber introduction to reality TV's most anticipated
in all seriousness,
season premiere.
For real.
The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast gathered at housewife Adrienne Malouf's home last week to discuss the horrific suicide of Russell Armstrong.
I mean, well, there's plenty of men that, you know, their wives leave them and they don't kill themselves. Well, she cannot feel responsible for that. Nobody can. It was his choice.
The alienation of the survivor.
From, feeling really sad.
What's he doing there?
I felt very angry, wanting to think that it's kind of a very selfish act.
Armstrong did not leave a note, but members of the show speculated financial difficulties may have led to his suicide.
I think that in the town that we live in, where your financial status is so important, that there's this need to keep up this front of
on
what
Peacock, the interview is thrown in the middle of the
Last
season. It's very confusing.
Just 3 weeks after Taylor Armstrong's estranged husband.
It doesn't seem as horrific because of what he was doing to Taylor, though. Like, what about her? That's what I mean. I feel like no one's focusing on Taylor.
His life.
They think it's the right decision to continue on with the show, but to make some change.
Okay, so we already read that.
The first
point. Russell's dead. Let's do the show anyway. Let's see if we want to watch this. Mauricio jump scare, and then Mauricio is so hot immediately following it. That's hilarious. Y'all are funny. I would make those chat of the night, but this is a serious topic, so we're not going to do that.
Adrian.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
I think we get the point of this. They all handle it really annoyingly. Like, they're acting, oh, we have to rally around her. Like, you literally saw all the signs of domestic violence, and she literally told you, and that wasn't enough for you to rally around her? You could only do it when the Bravo cameras came on and said, hey, now we have to talk about this because he killed himself. I bet if he had not killed himself, they would have not included the clip of Camille saying that, and they would have just edited all of that out and made Taylor look like a crazy person. I guarantee that's exactly what they would have done. Adding to the tragedy, Russell's business partner also died by suicide around the same time. While Taylor later speculated about foul play in these deaths, no evidence has surfaced to support these claims. What remains indisputable is the devastation left in the wake of Russell's actions: crushing debt, public humiliation, and profound trauma for Taylor and her daughter. An abuser will always give you one last good one at the end. Crushing debt and public humiliation seems fitting. So Russell Armstrong's sister spoke out.
Lauren, did he express to you that he liked being on the program?
At first, there was interest, and then towards the middle and end of it, no. In fact, I had a spot on the show as well with Sally, the co-producer, where I was coming in to do a part of the second series, and Russell was the one that called and said, "Laurie, please don't." And he goes, "You've been through enough, and so have your children." So no, he didn't.
What do you wish?
The very end.
Okay, and what do you wish had been done for your brother? What do you wish had been different?
You know, I think the biggest unjust thing that happened was that they, reality or not, what they did was they completely defaced his character, because I don't know that man that they talk about on that show, nor was he anything like that. And Taylor, shame on her for doing this and for thinking that all he was is bad. If that's the case, then why would she stay there and spend his money? So that's irritating.
Lori, is it possible he had bipolar disorder, which I've sort of heard bantered around, and was getting into a manic state, and in that manic state, he was somebody different than you were accustomed to seeing?
I've been with my brother.
So yeah, you get the point. That's his sister trying to defend him.
We should mention we spoke to Russell.
This is one of my favorite clips of all time. So his sister goes and does this interview about how he's a great guy and all these things. So this is Taylor responding to that interview.
Armstrong's sister, she said her brother denied ever abusing Taylor and asked, quote, "Why is she doing this when he's dead and can't defend himself?" Taylor Armstrong is with us now exclusively. Taylor, good morning. It's good to see you.
Just wait.
Why don't we start right there? I mean, you hear what Russell's sister says. He's not here to defend himself. What would be your response?
Absolutely. I don't feel that his sister has much knowledge of what went on in our relationship. The last time I saw her, we had just taken her out of rehab for meth, and she had been in a meth addict for about 5 years, and we were married for about 6, so I'm not really sure that she had her finger on the pulse of what was going on.
Cleared her. I love Taylor Armstrong. She said, well, she was... We're back? Okay. That's weird. I don't know why that keeps happening. Where did it stop? What did you see? Did you see this? About Camille and the lawsuits? Did you see that? I'll say it again in case anyone missed it. So, because Russell gave that legal letter, it wasn't a lawsuit, but it was basically like a shut the fuck up letter. Russell sent like a shut the fuck up letter to a bunch of the women because they were like talking about this. And so then the women went to Taylor and were like, we don't want Russell to come to parties anymore because he keeps sending us legal letters and it scares us. So you have to tell him that he's not invited to the parties anymore. And like, are you kidding me? Literally, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why would you do that to her? So she has continued to advocate for domestic violence awareness. She said, I have my daughter here today, and by the grace of God and perhaps reality TV, I am sitting here, and so is she. So this is season 2, episode 21.
If you're in an abusive relationship, why in the world would you ever agree to do a reality TV show?
At some stage, I might have believed that the cameras would provide me some protection, because if there are cameras following me and we're public figures, then it would either have the abuse stop because he wouldn't want that aired on television, or it would force us into a divorce. It would really make a change because we were stuck in a plateau of an unhealthy relationship.
Why do you think then that Russell agreed to be on the show?
I want to say this could potentially have been the love of my life. I mean, I love this person and miss him terribly.
So sad.
But at the same time, he had a very strange personality in the effect that he was a narcissist. I mean, he would come and tell me all the time how much people loved him and adored him. And I don't know if it was a part of a mental illness that was forming there where he was really up and down all the time.
What do you think would have happened to you if you didn't do the show? If you had never done the show?
I don't know. Most people I have talked to of experts, certainly not my opinion, typically these types of things end in...
I think the show saved your life.
Yeah.
They cut where it said death.
Because at some point, it might have been you. I was always telling her, you have to
She
leave.
really did deserve
Somebody's
so
going
much
to be
better.
6 feet under.
It's clear that you were in a lot of pain. What is it like seeing all that now?
It's scary a little bit for me to see what it's like when someone is pushed to the complete edge. So it's sad for me to watch.
Upsetting for you to watch, I noticed.
Yeah, very hard. Just to see, just the thought of a man hitting a woman, I find it very, very disturbing, yeah.
Well, I want to talk about the Tea Party. Camille, you felt that Taylor had
These don't
goaded
seem like
you that
appropriate
day.
questions.
Yes, absolutely. Because she said everybody needs to be honest here. And I said, well, who's being honest? You want all of us to be honest.
Shut up, Camille.
And she was the one I felt that wasn't. And I looked at her and I said, do you want me to be honest? And she looked at me and said, mm-hmm.
So then why were you surprised?
Because I thought she was going to be honest about what she told me, not about what I had told her in private prior to filming this season.
Well, I don't really think it was private because you told all of us, and you don't go on a reality show if that's happening in your private life. So I would think about that.
Oh, you nasty bitch.
And I don't appreciate you saying that because everybody knew.
She's literally like a deer in
headlights. To on me that I'm the one. Upsets me a bit.
Did
Camille
you
said, how
ladies
can I make this
doubt
about
at
me?
all what you were hearing from her about what was going on?
Obviously, I said it on air, so yes, I did. I was very confused by it. Because one moment she's saying this story that it's horrific to hear. It's just terrible. I'm sorry
Red
you
shirt
went through
girl.
that. And then on the other end, she wants us all to like him.
You would often say, yes, it's really bad, the abuse, and she'd said to us, but then it would get better. And she would say, you've got to like him. I said, I can't. And a lot of women stay for a reason. They stay because they hope that this is the last time. They
Camille
stay
was so
because maybe the
insecure, so
alternative is
victim-blamed.
scary. To walk away, she had nothing.
In some ways, you miss the control and abuse. What do you mean by that?
Some days I still wake up and think, am I supposed to be doing this? Am I supposed to be doing that? Because I'm so used to having someone there telling me what I can and can't do. It's a very hard thing for people to understand, but whenever you're so used to it, all of a sudden you feel...
I also thought he just asked that. Apparently she had said that in an interview that in some ways she missed the abuse and control, which I think is another really good example of how people really don't understand abusive relationships and people really don't understand what it's like to be a domestic violence survivor because rarely do abusers hit you the first time they meet you. They usually love bomb you at first, so you're very entrenched with this person and very attached to this person. So it's Stockholm syndrome in a way of not that you like being controlled, but it's scary to not be controlled when you've been under this state of I have to listen to this person. It's scary to do things that you want to do because you're used to getting in trouble for doing what you want to do.
Feel like you're just sort of dangling there, and I'm able to make all of my own decisions now, and that's hard.
Well,
yeah,
hearing that.
I understand part of it. Yes, very much so.
Are you saying that you were in something of an abusive relationship yourself?
Not physically, but you're constantly being criticized for little things, laughing too much or not laughing enough, or just little things.
Or smiling at the wrong time or saying the wrong thing at the wrong time.
You talked too much to my client. You were rude because you didn't talk enough to my client. And then you don't even know what to do anymore. And after a while, you just end up being like a Stepford wife. And I think a lot of women experience this. You know, just the pounding emotional abuse, and you start to ingrain those in your self-esteem. And I would often say, just hit me so we can get this over with. Because I knew that would end it.
So sad.
That's awful. To your husband, just hit me so we can get this over with. That's literally awful. So Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 3 and the fallout after this. So this is a clip of her. I think she also got demoted to friend.
It's okay for me to go and date. It's not a bad thing.
No, but there's a
I was
guilt that's
gun-shy.
associated
No,
with
but
it.
I was gun-shy in the beginning too. Then I understand, but you shouldn't. But you really shouldn't, because it does help.
But I feel, in a way, because he's gone,
you're carrying guilt.
And
because of the way it happened.
Loved him.
I know. And because of the way it happened.
Hate him at the same time, and I'm
Well, that
mad at
happens,
him. And he
Because he did the
lied
most
to
selfish
me.
act. He did the most selfish act a person can do.
But
is
he
take one's
lied
life.
to
Also, I don't like when people call suicide the most selfish act a person can do. I think that's like a really fucked up way to view that. But I hate Russell, so I'll allow it.
Me, and he's lied to everyone in his life, and I fought all those battles for his lies for all this time. My daughter still goes, Mommy, can we go on our plane again? And I'm like, baby, there's no plane.
That's another
So much
meme
of
of
my
her,
life was
is her saying, baby, there's no plane. So we discussed this slightly, but he was accused by My Medical Records of misappropriating funds intended for the company's growth. The lawsuit was filed July 2011, also when Taylor filed for divorce about a month before he killed himself, alleged that Russell had raised money from investors but failed to properly disclose all the receipts from those funds. Additionally, My Medical Records accused him of misusing funds for personal expenses, including maintaining the couple's lavish lifestyle. The company sought $1.5 million in damages. When Russell took his life in August 2011, the legal implications of the case shifted to Taylor, and the lawsuit implicated her due to the shared finances and potential benefits she derived from the alleged fraud. So because he used it for personal reasons and she's married to him, she's implicated in this case. Taylor became the primary target of this litigation, inheriting the debt and legal responsibilities that he left behind. So that's why they were saying he was so selfish, because of this. And again, I don't like when people say that, but I hate Russell, so I'll allow it in this case. So after Russell's death, Taylor faced mounting pressure to resolve the lawsuit while also dealing with her personal grief and the scrutiny of being in the public eye. The lawsuit did not simply vanish. Instead, Taylor worked for months to negotiate a settle with My Medical Records. By early 2012, Taylor reached a settlement agreement which required her to pay over $1 million, but this sum far exceeded her available resources. Public records and media reports revealed that she had a negative bank balance and was relying on the Real Housewives paycheck to stay afloat. I think they make like a couple $100,000 per season, which is a fuck ton of money, but a couple $100,000 a year does not fund the type of lifestyle she was living. Not to call her irresponsible or anything. I'm not shading her at all. I'm just saying, like, math, I can see why she's financially struggling right now. So, to satisfy the settlement terms, Taylor had to relinquish several high-value personal possessions. Among these were her 10-carat yellow diamond engagement ring and 2 Birkin bags. So because she didn't have the money to pay back for the lawsuit, she had to give away this stuff to them to pay for it. The sale of these items illustrated the stark contrast between the glamorous image Taylor projected versus the financial reality she faced. The engagement ring alone was valued at $250,000, but again, she owed $1 million. The Hermes bag, considered a luxury collectibles, were also included in the settlement. However, during the process, the My Medical Records CEO Robert Lorsch discovered that the bags were counterfeit. They were fake bags. Humiliating revelation that underscored the performative nature of Armstrong's wealth. That is so embarrassing. I bet she didn't even know that they were fake. Even with the sale of these assets and her reported her reported salary of $127,000 per season, like I said, $127,000 a year is a lot of money. That's a very good salary, but not in Beverly Hills with Birkin bags. These funds fell significantly short of covering the amount. The shortfall forced Taylor into further financial concessions, including relinquishing other valuables and assets from her home. So that literally sucks so bad. Living as a wealthy person in a wealthy area while also needing to spend money on food. Yeah, that'll be hard to pay off. Why the fuck is the CEO even looking at the bags? Get a real job. Taylor stated that she endured over 20 incidents of physical abuse during her marriage. In one particularly horrifying account, she described injuries severe enough to fracture her face and cause brain damage. She also claimed that some instances of abuse occurred while she was pregnant, underscoring the gravity of the situation. That is very common for women to start being abused when they get pregnant. That is very, very common. Men need help. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's very common. Taylor explained that she did not report the violence to authorities, citing love for Russell and a desire to protect him from incarceration. In the wake of these revelations, Russell's attorney publicly refuted Taylor's claims, and this is in the time where she had divorced, citing abuse, but he had not yet. Russell's attorney publicly refuted this, pointing to the lack of police reports or medical reports to corroborate the allegations. However, it's important to recognize that the absence of official documentation does not negate the reality of abuse. Victims often refrain from reporting incidents due to fear, love, financial independence, or concern for their abuser, like we said. This is that E interview.
On eggshell. You live your life constantly on eggshells, waiting for the other shoe to drop, because you don't know if you're just going to talk to your girlfriend too long at dinner, and that's going to cause someone to fly into a rage. These were not beatings that would go on for hours at a time, certainly not. And there are certainly women out there that experience that. And
the way she's still trying to defend him, it's so sad.
Russell was very careful in how he would do things because he didn't want to leave a lot of physical signs of injury. So
I believe that.
Often if we were leaving a place and he was angry, he would grab me by one side of the hair of my head and bang the other side of my head against the car, like by the back where you would open the door. And or
so it wouldn't show in your hair?
Right, because you get knots and things in here, you don't really see it so much. And then sometimes when he was driving, he would just reach over and slam my head against the inside window if he were angry. Just a lot of screaming combined with, a few hits to the face.
Her image on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is that of a woman who loved the lavish lifestyle, plastic surgery, and filler-injected lips. When I sat down with Taylor, I found she is so much more than her reality TV alter ego. She is smart, and she is getting stronger. And despite the abuse, Taylor did, in fact, love Russell Armstrong.
So common.
Did he see himself as an abuser? Did he realize what he was doing?
I don't think so. Not until the end.
Do you mean before he committed suicide? Shortly before he committed suicide?
Yes, I'm sorry, yeah. I don't think he saw himself as an abuser until the last time that he hurt me, when I finally ended our relationship.
These photos, along with the CAT scans of her injuries, forced Russell to come face to face with monster-like abuse he was inflicting on his wife.
I think my requiring surgery and there being such specific radiographic evidence of the injury that he finally really had to look it in the face. I had never seen my husband cry in all the years that we were together. And when I finally showed him the MRI, he just put it down and started to cry.
Russell.
And I think it was him having to come to terms with the fact that this had gone on for too long and that this time he really could have hurt me beyond what could have been repaired.
Literally horrific. And like someone said, so common. This is another video of her talking about this. The fact that it took him that long, right?
There was as I've described, there was a storm happening in my life that was very separate from a camera being there. I was in an abusive relationship for 6 years, and that was going on, and there was a camera over here filming that, but that was my reality, and that would not have changed, be it for or without the cameras. The only thing I would say is if the cameras were not in my life, there's a good chance I wouldn't be sitting here today, because a lot of domestic violence situations end in murder-suicide versus just suicide. And so I have my daughter here with me today, and by the grace of God and perhaps
reality TV. I'm sitting here and so is she.
And you had to think about that, I'm sure, when you signed up for the show, if that's going on in your personal relationship at home, that may come out. Did you debate that and think about that and talk to him about that?
You know, I have said, and I believe that subconsciously I may have signed up for the show to try and allow my problems to be.
Also, another thing, people really hated on her because she came out with a book pretty shortly after it happened, but she needed the money. I would have done the same thing if I was her.
In the public eye to some extent because, again, it was my saving grace. And,
people with NPD often cry and get emotional for themselves. Narcissistic personality disorder. I wonder if he was sad for himself that he could get in trouble. That's what I think it was.
And having the ability to find a platform of my own, which is what I really want to focus on now, is helping women who are in a dangerous situation find a platform.
I would have went on tour.
Financial source to get them out of that situation before something tragic happens.
Some might say, though, that with this kind of spotlight comes a great deal of criticism.
True. Absolutely.
And I would wonder if given what's happened to you,
I think this is her on tour.
As another woman, I don't want you to go through that. Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Thank you.
It seems that you're in a place where you're going to get good support, and then you're going to get an awful lot of criticism. And I'm the type of person that I would just want to run and be quiet and find solace and prayerfully and quietly, not necessarily be in the spotlight. And I feel like I want that for you.
Right. I understand.
Taylor said I got bills.
I feel that way a lot too. I mean, I've spent 5 weeks in my house after my husband's death, and then I realized that we're all put on this earth with a plan and with a mission, and I was handed a very specific mission, I feel, by the grace of God through a tragedy.
She's so inspiring. I would be terrible.
Do something with it, then I'm not doing the right thing by other women and men that could potentially be in a dangerous situation.
I want to get to all the things you're doing, but I gotta just revisit what you said, because it's a pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, I'm sure writing the book was therapeutic.
That if not for the show, you think it's entirely possible that the violent events that took place with your husband might have engulfed both you and potentially your daughter as well?
Yes. I mean, I know that you probably know that I have a titanium implant holding my right eye up now. I mean, that's a pretty significant situation. And I'm thankful to be here, and especially for my daughter. I mean, imagine if she had 2 less parents instead of 1. It's been hard enough for her and I, and I feel thankful at this point.
She's so inspiring and so, poised. I would not be poised. Oh, I don't want to watch this. This is later on. She, it says, she forgets she left her kid with Kyle. She was grieving. I don't want to judge. I fucked up too. And she later said, basically Kyle calls her and is like, hey, are you coming to the party? And she's like, no, I'm going on a plane with this guy that I met. I'm so in love with him. And then Kyle is like, oh, well, I have Kennedy with me. Do you want her to just spend the night and you'll just let me know? And Taylor was like, Kennedy's with you? And then Taylor later went on and said that when she left, Kennedy was with her mom. Kennedy is her daughter again. Taylor's mom took Kennedy to Kyle's because Kyle's daughter Portia and Kennedy were friends. So Taylor had left her kid with her mom and wasn't exactly in the know of where her kid was because she was out partying with this guy. So what I will say is does it make her look great? No. Am I going to criticize her at all for it? No. We've seen what she has been through. Her daughter was with one of 2 responsible people. I'll forgive it. So Section 6, wedding bells to her attorney. Again, we're listening and not judging. Taylor first met John Bueller when he provided legal guidance during her financial and legal battles after Russell's death. Over time, their professional relationship evolved into a personal one. So that's where she calls and is like, oh, I'm with this guy. We're so in love. We're on a plane. That's so fair, though. Trust your mom and have fun. You left, and she said, I thought my daughter was with her nanny and my mom was there, but apparently they had gone to Kyle's and had a sleepover. I can see how it happens. Is it great? No, but no one got hurt, so whatever. So despite some initial controversy, because John was technically married and in the early stages of him and Taylor's relationship. They both maintained that their romance began after his marriage to Stephanie Bueller had effectively ended. So I guess he was separated, but some people did not like that. So August 2013, John proposed to Taylor in Mexico. This engagement marked a turning point for Taylor. They got married in 2014, so that's 3 years after Russell killed himself. They got married at the Bel Air Club in Los Angeles. Taylor described the day as transformative. They had a celebrity wedding planner, fancy wedding, all the things. This is her talking maritable bliss, just so you can kind of see what he looks like.
Because I already had reality TV kill one person in my life.
No, I'm sick of it. You turn the cameras off because I'm done.
Oh.
No, she's not. She's not done at all. Before marrying her attorney in April, former Beverly Hills housewife Taylor Armstrong and her fiancé hit up VH1's Couples Therapy. Isn't that a red flag?
Oh, right, they were on this
Did
show.
you go to therapy before the wedding?
I think it's very admirable that they're trying to work on their issues before they actually tie the knot. And as you know, he's done with some very tough stuff. A horrible separation,
Yes.
domestic abuse, the death of her first husband, very tragically. But now Taylor is starting over with her new man and the wedding of her dreams, thanks to celebrity party planner David Tutera. But I wanted to know if, after all this, she's done with reality TV for good. Before you guys made it down the aisle, you were on Couples Therapy.
Yes. Stop pushing her away. If you push and you push and you push, at some point she's not going to come back.
A lot of couples therapy for us was about just putting the past behind me. I have some residual anxiety and just post-traumatic stress from the experiences that I had. And it's not fair to John. It's not fair for him to go into a marriage with me with a lot of baggage from the past. Taylor Armstrong claimed for years she was the victim of both physical and mental abuse by her first husband, Russell Armstrong.
So you get the point. So that's the proposal, and that is the wedding. Again, like, we listen and we don't judge. A gorgeous wedding. She looks gorgeous. She looks absolutely beautiful. Look at Kennedy, a nice little wedge. So why Taylor Armstrong's fiance did reality TV? Is this the Wendy Williams show?
So, John, you were married before. You were married.
Oh no, this is the Bethany show.
So,
what?
This is so much controversy going on. This is such a storm. What would make you want to go on reality television? You're a successful lawyer. It's reported that you make a very nice living. What's the reason to go on that kind of a show and be in this kind of a fishbowl?
You know what? I'll wake up in the morning and Taylor will be completely in a horrible state of anxiety, and I'm like, is this me? What am I not doing right? And we decided that it was better to try and figure this out because I wasn't understanding what was going on with her. And there were a whole bunch of different things that were residual from her prior relationship that were really affecting us every single day. And I was thinking, I'm not doing it. We're in love. We love each other's company and we're great friends.
So yeah, they were on couples therapy. So one of the most meaningful aspects was his decision to formally adopt Kennedy, Taylor's daughter from her previous relationship. And though John has children from his previous marriage, he relocated from Colorado to Southern California at Taylor's request. That is a little bit of a red flag to me that he left his other children. I am wondering, but they said they have blended their families and have built a foundation of mutual support. She often speaks that this was like the universe bringing them together in her darkest hour, that he's her soulmate, all these things. But it does appear that they had some financial problems in their marriage. He was being sued by Capital One for a $20,000 unpaid credit card bill. And back in December 2019, he had a significant tax lien. A tax lien means you have not paid your taxes. A debt that remains unresolved. So again, like, we listen and we don't judge. Moving on to her nonprofit work and advocacy. So she released a book 6 months after the suicide, like I mentioned, which a lot of people didn't like, but she speaks about like Kennedy and her marriage to Russell and all of those things. Not to be that person, but him leaving like that is kind of giving Brooks from Real Housewives of Orange County. I kind of feel the same way. She also reflects about her childhood, where we talked about she had dealt with domestic violence. She also dealt with low self-esteem and bulimia as well. So it seems like Taylor is just going through it. She explains how she felt like her birth name never represented who she was. Holidays were difficult because it made her think about the other perfect families. Like, this is just some more about her book. And then in 2012, like we saw, she began supporting the 1736 Family Crisis Center, which is a nonprofit in Los Angeles. We'll skip over this because I feel like we got to the beat of it, and it is almost 9 p.m. So her nonprofit is called the Taylor Armstrong Foundation. They help spread awareness of domestic violence and help survivors of abuse cover costs like moving out, and legal cost. Covering unforeseen expenses helps logistically, Armstrong says. All victims need to know that they are worth something. So what is she doing today? That meme of her is very, very famous. This is the meme. I don't love that this is a meme now that I know the backstory behind it, but this is a very popular meme I'm sure that you have seen. The cat is named Smudge. So as you saw, the cat had nothing to do with the actual moment. It was actually a woman in a crisis. This is how she feels about the $50,000 birthday party today. She was on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and talked about this. If my computer wants to load. Yes, no, maybe. I'm giving you a few more seconds and then I'm giving up on you. I hate that it was so glitchy tonight because this was such a good and important topic. I feel so guilty about the meme now. I know, right? Me and my friend wore t-shirts of that meme for a meme day at our school in like 2019. Because I think mine had Taylor screaming and it said Happy Holidays, and then my friends had the cat and it said Merry Christmas. Because, like, I didn't know. Okay, I'm hitting refresh once and then I'm giving up. Damn, I guess we don't get to see what she thought about it. So, Taylor Armstrong revisits her most famous...
Thanks for watching.
She's very quick-witted and fun. So, she recently joined Real Housewives of Orange County as a friend. She is the first American housewife to transfer franchises. Impressive. She appeared in season 17 of Real Housewives of the OC and announced her departure on Instagram after the season. She was also on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip in June 2022. That's a lot. She was very sad about her daughter graduating, which happened relatively recently. She is her only child, and she said she's completely devastated and leaning on her friends as Kennedy leaves the house. There were rumors that she had a romantic relationship with Kyle Richards. She said we did not have a romantic relationship, but she did admit that she is bisexual and had a 5-year relationship with a woman before marrying Russell Armstrong. So, I really, did not pick up that vibe from her, but I included it at the end because she very recently said it, so I didn't want you to see it at the beginning. But yeah, I just thought that was so interesting. I think maybe she should, try that again, you know? Maybe try that again. I'm not going to include this because it seems like she's drunk and yelling at a photographer, so I don't care about that. But that is Taylor Armstrong, a bi queen, a victim of domestic violence, a advocate for all of us. I think she has a very interesting story, and that we need to talk about people like this because it truly, truly can happen to anybody. And I think that her story is a great example of what a domestic violence victim can look like, how to not operate around them, and how to be there for your friends. I hope that this wasn't too serious of vibes. But we're going to play our little Nearpod game now. I kept it pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Surface level on the questions. So I will give people a couple moments to join. If this is where you leave, thank you for being here. Next week, we're going to talk about Irish oppression. We're mainly going to be focused on the 18 and 1900s, but we'll get into a little bit of background. Next week is going to be one of the weeks where I go in kind of blind. I know nothing about this, but I think it's so interesting and I see it come up a lot, but I really don't know anything about it. So I created just a very general topic outline, and my assistant is going to put it together so we can all learn. So it'll be very much classroom history vibes for that. But anyway, I'll give people a few more seconds to join the game. I love the Nearpod game. I'm breaking out so bad. I have a pimple right here. I have one right here. I'm really not having a good time. Womp womp. What a stream. Holy shit, you covered this well, Miss Redacted. Thank you, because this was a topic I really debated choosing because I was there's a lot of funny moments. Taylor is funny, but it's not a funny topic, so I want it to be a good respectful covering of this topic, and because it's a lot. I've never watched any Real Housewives, but this was such an educational stream. Thank you. You are welcome. I have a playlist on my YouTube of all my streams about like Bravo people. I'll make sure to add this one to it. I'll give people a couple more minutes to join the game. I thought this was going to be a shorter night because it wasn't as many slides, but there was just so much to talk about. I don't want to update my phone. Literally leave me alone. Do you all feel educated? I do. I do have that playlist. I love a playlist. Man, there's 16 people in the game. Without it being too heavy. Because I wanted it to be like, Russell sucks. He was very abusive, but I didn't want us to just be like, and then he did this, and then he did this, and then he did this, and then he did this. But I did want to talk about all the terrible things he did, so I tried to keep it brief. Shorter stream. It was over 100 slides and you used to cap it at 65. Did I really? I forgot about that. I listen and I don't judge. For a while they were getting like 150, 180, and now I cap it at 110. Like, we can't get past 110. Okay, I'm gonna start the game because the number hasn't gone up in a little minute. It was very much strength-based from Taylor's POV. That's what I wanted it to be, was like, I wanted to feel like her POV. Because whenever I stream about a person, if I don't hate them, whenever I stream about a person, I like to think, if I was them and I watched this, how would I feel? So like the Tiger Woods stream, I don't really care how he feels. But my biggest nightmare would be for Taylor Armstrong to watch this and be like offended, insulted, and feel exploited. That would be like my biggest nightmare. So I always try and do it in a way where like if it was me, I would be like, wow, thanks for talking about this. So I'll go ahead and hit Marbles. It would mainly just be us watching Jenna Marbles. That era was delicious. And it really, like, those were some of the best topics, and I can't think of any other topics like that. Oh my god, this is so confusing. Sorry. People keep sending conflicting messages about something that's happening at work, speaking of work, and I'm like, just tell me what's going on. Who was married to Taylor Armstrong? A loser. That's who. I love when people want to connect with me on LinkedIn. A lot of them are like weird scammers, but that's fine. Can we do a stream on gambling? That actually is on my list. What was the name, or what is the name of Taylor Armstrong's daughter? I want to interview her. I wonder what she has to say about all of this. Real Housewives of Vicky and Taylor. Oh, your mom follows me? Hi, Mom. How are we doing? The Great Lakes was a good one. Shaming the Rich Wedding was good. I watched Lake Lanier twice. Kathy Griffin, oh, she's iconic. She's going on tour and I'm going to see her. I'm excited about it. I literally looked up, I was like, how much money do I have to pay to meet her? I don't care how much it is, I'm paying for it, but she doesn't do that. Like, that wasn't an option. So I DM'd her and she didn't answer. But I feel like she didn't see it. I think she would have answered if she saw it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the one about Kyle Richards is the legacy of Big Kathy, the Richards family mommy issues. Any Duggar stream is always going to be good. The Tana Mojo one has a ton of views because it's literally Tana Mojo. Ugh. I have not done the AIDS epidemic, partially because it's just so sad that I don't see, like, how I could do that in a just way. You know what I mean? I'm not against it, but I'd have to noodle on it for a little bit. What is John Bueller's profession? The Villages. Oh my god, I literally was about to say that. That's what's pulled up on my phone right now. It was like this era. So The Villages was my stream that I did. That was the first stream I did after I quit that job. And I spent literally 11 hours making The Villages stream. 11 hours of research went into The Villages stream because I was unemployed. But, like, this is the era where I didn't give a fuck about that job. History of LuLaRoe, Abby Lee Miller, John and Kate, Cruises, the Waco, Kris Jenner, History of Greek Life, History of Tipping, History of Fast Food, Tonya Harding, Barbie, CIA and military influence in film. Like, banger, banger, banger. I have not done Faye Resnick. You mean the morally corrupt Faye Resnick? Who revealed the allegations of Taylor's abuse? Who we hate. First stream in a while. Love Bravo. Loved Waco. You made my meme a thumbnail for one of them. Oh, let me look at which one it was. I remember that. Oh, the right in front of my salad one. You also loved my meme for The Villages. Lemur Banana, you were very good at memes. It was Camille Grammer. Alrighty, nice job. A Zaxby's parking lot, a middle school parking lot, Mary, Real Housewives of Vicky and Taylor, Fingers on the Pulse parking lot, Allison, By Icon Taylor, Finley, Dr. $5 Phillips, Saturn Cat, Housewife Deep Dive Clubby, Not the Red Shirt Girl, Mary, Sarah, Cowboy Carly, Ashley, Poo Poo, Deej, and Paige. Thank you so much for being here. Obviously, this isn't a very memeable topic, but any other lore, anyone have anything else to add? Congrats to Zaxby's. I really like this topic. I think that she has an incredibly interesting story, and we can learn a lot from her. Oh my god, my pink wall is like falling down so bad over here. I need to like do something about that. Mr. Dacted deciding to show a random couple named Russell and Taylor instead of giving us no wedding pics at all. Because when I Googled it, they came up, and I was like, okay, that works for me. That works for me. Say less. Say less. I'll give people a few more seconds to add a meme, but it is 9:07, 9:08. I am sleepy. It is almost time to get out of here. So, thank you to everyone who stuck around. If you like my stream, tell your friends about it. Post about it on your Instagram story. Any support is phenomenal. I love that for us. If you are a YouTuber, try and come live with us one week. You can see way more clips. It's 100% free. There's no pay at all. And you can be in the chat with us, which is always a fun time. Love you all so much. This was the highlight of my week, and I will see you next week.